Welcome, everybody. I think we can maybe get started here. Just to preface a little bit, my name is Laney Fight. I'm an admissions counselor here at Simpson. And welcome to our Business Administration and Economics seminar. I'll turn it over to Professor Walker here, and he can walk through the rest.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone, for being with us tonight. I'm Professor John Walker. I'm part of the Business Administration and Economics Department. I'm a professor of management and entrepreneurship. I'll let the other two, JC and Mark, introduce themselves, and then let Mark kind of kick things off.
All right.
Hello, I'm JC Downey. I teach in health services leadership, and I'm also the program director.
Great. I'm Mark Jeffenbrook. I'm the chair of the department, and I also teach in the area of accounting and law. And so you've got three of us from the faculty out of 9 full-time faculty in the department with you for this adventure. And we're really happy to have the interest in Simpson. We think this is a great place. That's kind of why we are doing what we're doing. And we look forward to hopefully having you not just virtually here, but actually on campus to visit and to come here full-time as a student and hopefully studying in our department. I'd just like to sort of kick it off, talk a little bit about our faculty and sort of our philosophy, I guess, as a department in the college. And John, if you want to scroll to the next slide for us. We've got, as I mentioned, 9 full-time faculty in the department. We also have a number of adjunct faculty that we use as resources for discipline-specific areas, which is really nice. I know in our health services leadership program, we've got some really top-notch folks who are in the discipline, and they really love coming to campus and working with our undergraduate students. One of the things that we think is really important is that very idea. All of us in the department, prior to our teaching careers, we're in the business world, and it's very much an applied experience, not only in the classroom where, you know, we're talking about experiences that we've had rather than just reading out of the textbook, but we're also using those experiences to help students in different business clubs, in other activities that we sponsor outside the classroom. So I think, again, it's very much what you'd call 24/7 learning environment. You know, the classroom is a big part of it, but there's so much more to your education than just what's going on in the classroom. And we really believe in applying those kinds of things. So I think we've got a really great group of faculty. I've been here for 20 years, and I can't be more excited about the programs that we've got going on, and really the wonderful faculty that we have to work with the great students that we have. So back to you, John.
Yep, and on that same vein, yeah, Mark mentioned a lot of us are from industry. That allows us to help build connections for you to the greater Midwest area, to large businesses, small businesses. Allows us to provide internship opportunities for you, and allows for speakers and alumni to come to class and tell their story and make it real. So we do have a lot of great experience from a faculty standpoint. We also do have an academic component that is relevant. We do research. We make sure we involve students in a lot of our research, so you can build skills, build things that'll look great on your resume, maybe for a future job or for grad school or something like that. So we do some research as well.
Obviously, we want to talk about the academic programs we have, the different majors and minors and programs of study that we have. We are, as you'll hear more about later tonight, we're the largest department on campus in terms of the number of students studying in the department, and we offer 7 different majors in the department, and they range anywhere from the typical ones that you'd expect at a liberal arts college like economics to things that really are a little bit less conventional and more innovative: business analytics, health services leadership. We have a couple different entrepreneurship tracks. So there's a ton of opportunity for students. Now, one of the things that we really also believe in is the idea that we don't want students to come in necessarily and have decided what they want to study. We want you to come in here trying all kinds of different things, certainly in our department, but even across campus, and getting your toe in the water in different disciplines. And as part of that idea, we have a series of gateway courses, as we refer to them, that will get you a little bit of exposure into economics, get you some exposure into accounting and business management and health services leadership and marketing. And most of those courses are commonly required for multiple of our business majors. And again, we get students that come in and say, I absolutely want to major in accounting. And I love when that happens for sure. But at the same time, I really want even those students who are really set on something to, get some experience with marketing and get some experience with, economics and what's going on in the health services area. So we really have geared our courses for the first 2 to 3 semesters to be business courses, but more of a survey nature, where again, if you decide your second semester that you absolutely love marketing and communications, we've got a program for you, and you already will have had a couple courses in that area as well as some other business areas. So I think that's I think that's really important. We want you guys to come in. We really encourage you to declare a major not until your end of your second or really into your third semester. Again, because I think once a student declares their major, they lose some of that broad-based kind of just mindset almost, and you become maybe focused a little more narrowly than what you really need to at that point. So we'll encourage you as students to, again, big picture, look around, see what's to offer. And you're going to, as we'll talk later, you're going to have some great academic advisors as well. They're going to help you in that process as well. One of the programs I'd really like you guys to hear a little bit more about is our Health Services Leadership Program. It's a really neat, unique program at Simpson College.
Yeah, I'd love to take a minute to explain a little bit more about health services leadership. It is pretty unique, especially for the undergraduate world. Students may have heard of or may know someone who has a master's degree in healthcare administration, but you rarely hear about students who are trained at the undergraduate level to go out and win those jobs in the healthcare market. Well, we were hearing about it from the employers, and such that there's such great demand. And we like to tout the stat that 6 of the 10 fastest growing occupations are related to healthcare and health services. And so we answered that call when we put this program together about 6 years ago now. And it was in response to that need. So we train students to understand healthcare from a wide angle. So all the way from birth to end of life, if you will. So they learn about lots of systems, health, the typical hospital that you all know about, but in more of an area that students don't have as much knowledge of, like long-term care facilities for our aging population, or health IT. So there's a wide area that we try to help students understand and understand how those pieces fit together to become ready to win the jobs in healthcare. So I'm excited to talk more about that later.
There's also a component of experiential learning, and I think Mark touched on it briefly at the beginning, but we do view the college experience as something larger than the classroom. We have a lot of co-ops where you are participating in job shadows and seeing what's out there, what you like and what you dislike. We have a lot of internship opportunities, and whether it be at large companies, if you're going to go into accounting, maybe one of the big 4 accounting firms, there's internship opportunities there. Principal Financial Group, Wells Fargo, Cortiva, Aviva, and those are local global companies that we have really good relationships with. We also have relationships with smaller businesses if you're going to go down an entrepreneurial path, and also regional players in Kansas City and Omaha and Minneapolis. So those are opportunities for you. We have CEO Club, which is the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, where you're actually striving to start a business and fail sometimes, which is a good experience in college. And then we have a lot of capstone experiences where the end of your 4-year, 3-year time at Simpson, you're going to jump in and learn some really engaged, team-based activities. Here's some internship, just some pictures of previous interns, Deloitte, Ariane, lots of opportunities there. And we also spend some time off campus and visiting. The picture on your left is from a court case and the students were not active in the court case at all, but were part of the viewing portion and seeing how that all happens. And then there's a picture there of CARE initiatives that Professor Downey set up for students to be a part of. Entrepreneurial activities, I mentioned CEO. We host contests. So there's a very big hands-on contest in the background there of one of the pictures. And then we have a small group that was visiting local businesses, and that's a class of 4 people. And that's not an average class size, but we do have classes, and we try to hold our classes as small as possible, and that makes it possible for us to go off campus and meet people and meet businesses and figure out how they work. We also have May term, study abroad. The business department has strong connections in Southeast Asia and in Italy. Every other year, we travel to those countries for May term. May term is a 3-week period where you can do some study or travel abroad and study abroad. We've built really great connections overseas, and we continue to engage those business professionals, get students a global experience in kind of the nest of a small college.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the experience that you want to have at a place like Simpson. Going back to what Professor Walker was talking about with the Italy trip, we hope to lead that again this year. We try to do that every other year during May term in odd numbered years. Obviously, we've got all the pieces in place for the Italy trip this year. Indianola's sister city is actually in the Veneto region, which is by Venice. And we developed, again, as Professor Walker said, some great relationships with business leaders as well as government leaders in that part of Italy. That's in sort of the northern tier from the Milan area over to the east to Venice. So we spent 3 weeks over there. Really, it's a great dive into entrepreneurial and experiences in marketing. You know, how can a country with a shrinking population like Italy compete in a global marketplace? And we meet with a ton of different business leaders and government leaders to talk about how those folks have really cut out a niche to be able to be competitive and survive in a really difficult worldwide marketplace. So again, I think that those are the kinds of experiences that you're going to have at a place like Simpson. We've also got a lot of great clubs and organizations. It really gives students an opportunity to explore areas that they might be interested in. I always encourage students to get involved early. You know, you may get involved in the accounting club and decide that accounting is not for you, but you know, that's half the battle, is figuring out what sort of doesn't fit. And these different clubs and organizations are a great way for you to meet upper class students and see what they're doing, see what kind of internship experiences they have, and then also connect with, one of the big things that the different clubs and organizations do is bring speakers in from Des Moines to talk about their jobs and their careers and what they kind of do on a day in and day out basis to really, again, help inform you what things might look like. We've got a wonderful group called CEO. Professor Walker is the faculty leader of that group. It's a collegiate entrepreneurs organization. That's one of the hallmarks, cornerstones of our department is entrepreneurship and trying to help students that have great ideas figure out how to build those ideas and bring those ideas to realization. Or for that matter, they may have a great idea or they think is a great idea that may not be as great or be as marketable as what they think. And that's part of, the entrepreneurial spirit, is to figure out what might not work. So we've got some great real world projects where we link up with businesses and provide services such as marketing research, accounting, finance services to upstart and local businesses. We've got a investment fund. This a lot of colleges have these sort of monopoly game investment funds. It's the bottom one on the slide that you're looking at. It's the Eberhardt Student Aid Fund, and there's about a $700,000 portfolio at market value right now that the students manage. They literally research companies, make recommendations to buy, sell. They put out an investment newsletter The first one of this semester is coming out next week, and it couldn't be a more hands-on, real-world experience that these students have. And students end up taking that class multiple times so they can, continue with their stock picks and track and see how things go. So, again, this is not simulation. This is across the board. What we believe in is real-world application for your classroom experiences.
I'd like to add on to that just a bit to back on that previous slide, it talked about May term experiences, and then we've been talking about internships as well. And so I'd like to speak a bit about the Health Services Leadership May term, where we load up in a van and take them out to, the students and I go out and we visit a wide variety of healthcare organizations. And we actually set up in advance so that we are learning from their executive teams. And so the students dress up, they show up, we're usually greeted with a cup of coffee. You feel like a real corporate leader, and they give us tours, talk about, a day in the life sort of events. And then they sit down and they teach us about what it's like to try to be successful, in the world of healthcare reform, for example. So that's a really great experience that we have there. That would fit under some of these May term courses that are described here. But also my favorite part, I think, is that students begin to gain ideas and begin to see themselves working in different types of locations. And so it starts the ball rolling towards planning their internships, which are a required part of the Health Services Leadership major. So their senior capstone is actually an internship project. And so they're also doing real world problem solving, and fits right in with this theme of innovative learning. So things that I think you might want to take away from our talk today would be just how concerned and interactive faculty are with Simpson students, and how we value that personal relationship and to be a part of how students learn. We really do work hard to bring the world to Simpson College and to get Simpson students out into the world. So that's a big part of what we think is important to learn at this stage of education. We also believe in small classes. It's been mentioned before. So we want to be able to get to know our students. We want to have them more than just one time in a class. We want to get to know them by name and by event, and what they're involved in and where they're from and what their future aspirations are, so that we can help them succeed and find a good fit after graduation. And speaking of after graduation, we really love to be able to say that the students out of the Business Administration and Education Department have really great job acceptance and internship acceptance rates. So you're looking at 100 there, friends. That's a really great percentage that we're able to see our students have great success after graduation. So more here, entrepreneurship has been mentioned a couple of times. This is really something that our department has wrapped their arms around. So we've built like an ecosystem around this idea. We've got minors related to entrepreneurship. There are student-run clubs, as you've heard us talk about CEO and Emerge. There's capstone experiences that are built around the entrepreneurial spirit, and the famous Startup Storm, which is a great opportunity for students to be involved in, which we host every fall, has an entrepreneurial spirit as well. So we're really proud of that, and students really get to take their ideas to the next level. Additionally, business analytics is a new minor that we are supporting out of our program and department, and it's getting a lot of attention, as you might imagine. Data is everywhere, but understanding what data means is not everywhere. And so we're trying to help students learn the tricks of the trade, so that they'll be able to mine that data to be able to look for trends that can help make good business decisions. So this is a great start with a minor, and we're hoping that we'll be able to gain some steam and be able to build a possible major in this at some point. We've mentioned Des Moines quite a bit throughout this presentation, and it's a great place to be, just a few miles away. There are so many good reasons to appreciate being this close to Des Moines. First and foremost, I would say that Indianola is a great place to be. We have the ability to have a beautiful campus, and right now in the fall, just absolutely stunning. But we also have a beautiful short drive to Des Moines, which is the capital of Iowa, and it's a really growing part of the state and part of the Midwest. And so we appreciate being that close. Students are able to take advantage of job shadowing and internships. And not only that, but as was mentioned right at the beginning, all of the faculty in this department came from the field. And so before we were educators, we were business people. And so those relationships are still around and we still take advantage of them. And other of our colleagues out in the field tend to say yes when we ask. They tend to say, bring your students in, or I'd love to come visit your classroom, or sure, I'd love to help a student get a internship. So we really appreciate that we're that close to Des Moines as well. And so last thing I wanted to mention was the fact that we're small is that we can help students find their niche. And maybe that might be a double major, or maybe it might be another minor. And so we're able to work with other colleagues in other departments and be able to help that student find their fit and maybe double up on another major, or maybe work together to solve, some other, problem solving internship that collaborates between, accounting and health services leadership, for example. And we do have students that double up in those areas and they really set themselves up for a great future.
And all that stuff, it goes hand in hand with the benefits of being so close to Des Moines. Access to internships, opportunities for us to take classes to Des Moines, and for speakers and alumni and CEOs to come to campus. And Des Moines, you have that small college feel of Indianola and Simpson College, but you've got all this culture and activity that goes on in Des Moines that you can participate in the evenings and weekends. So it's a really great plus to have that small college feel right next to the big city. We do a really good job, I think we mentioned earlier, with placement and getting people where they want to be. And in our slide here, it says over 99% of graduates find employment, with a degree from our program. And it also mentions first destinations. And that's kind of an academic jargon word. It's the first place you land out of college. And when we say 99% of our students find employment in their chosen field, we're looking at that real employees. And we're not counting maybe a college that says 99% placement. They might have you as a pizza delivery driver, right? We're not trying to get you there. We're trying to get you to own the pizza delivery place. We're trying to get you to that really strong first destination. You can see on our slides the number of seeking employment in 2019 was absolutely zero, and I'll go to the next slide here. And some of the first destinations that our students received, the first job they received out of college, are some significant ones, and that's a product of our connection as faculty to the business community, the great students that we accept at Simpson College. Not everybody gets into Simpson College, so we are very selective there. And then our students set themselves apart. JC mentioned a double major or a minor, or all these activities that they do on campus look really great on a resume, and then also those internships. So we jump right into really strong first destinations. I would tell you to seek out what the first destinations are for other colleges. I think we are the top of the bunch there for that. We also land students in graduate school. We love when students go on to graduate school, especially from our department. Degrees from our department are almost transferable to a lot of different options. We've got a sports management. I currently have a sports management grad school candidate, or Caleb was accepted into a sports management grad school. Kelsey is in HR and industrial relations, chasing grad school there. And then we also have people placed in public health. And law school is another opportunity as well that's not necessarily mentioned on these slides, but we really set you up. And we've had conversations with these three candidates and many others on what they want to do with their lives to get them to this point. And that's our job as faculty. So, and we will help you with that journey as well. If you're not thinking about grad school, more power to you. There's great professional opportunities out there. Human resources, business development, health services, some really great first destinations. These young adults are on their way. We have some students that just go right into entrepreneurship. I know we've talked about entrepreneurship quite a bit, and you may not ever be an entrepreneur, and that's absolutely fine. But the skills you learn from coursework in entrepreneurship are highly transferable into the corporate world. They call it intrapreneurship. And our big companies are asking for those skill sets, and that's why we focus on that. Some other great students that have recently launched into marketing and accounting. So some really good things that are going on there.
Yeah, and it's not just the first destination. We've got, again, as I said at the beginning, I've been doing this for 20 years, and we've got phenomenal graduates that have worked their way up into incredible professional careers. This is just a couple of them. One of the very first students I ever had here on the left there, Hank Norum, is president of a manufacturing company. Came out of a career in public accounting down in Kansas City, moved back to Iowa, and became CFO, and then president of a manufacturing company. Another graduate of Simpson is the president and CEO of the Greater Des Moines Partnership. If you get to Des Moines, a lot of the great things that are going on in Des Moines, from both a business and a social and activities perspective, have been furthered by the Des Moines Partnership. It's an unbelievable organization that's done a wonderful job. You know, you're hearing in U.S. News and World Report, in similar publications, what a great place Des Moines is to live and work, from a cost of living to a quality of life point of view. And Jay Byers and his organization are big time behind that progress that Des Moines has made. Another one of my former students on the far right there is a partner in one of the big four accounting firms. That is a difficult accomplishment. It's people start there. You'll start with a dozen people easily, and within 2 years, at least half of those people are gone through attrition at the big public accounting firms. So to move up the ranks and become a partner at one of the big four firms is quite an accomplishment. So again, first destinations are super important, but your career does not stall out in your first destination. Simpson alums do a wonderful job of getting in and advancing, and that's why there's so many internship and employment opportunities for Simpson students. I'd like to think that we've done a great job educating our students, but I think those students have also done a wonderful job making a name, not just for themselves, but making a name for Simpson College as well. So I can't, again, speak highly enough of what's going on around here. And I would put up Simpson College against any other institution in Iowa or beyond, as far as quality of education and opportunities. And that's, to kind of sum up what we've been talking about, that's the word opportunity is what I always think about. I think about Simpson College, and I was on a committee last year to look at our mission statement and our values and those sorts of things. And that was the word that kept coming to the top, that just kept rising to the top, is opportunity. Whether it be opportunity in the classroom, opportunity outside the classroom in athletics and intramurals, opportunity to get involved in student government, opportunity to get involved in different business clubs and those sorts of things, opportunities for internships. The opportunities are really unbelievable. I went to a large state school, and it was difficult to get involved in things. Again, at a place like Simpson, it's almost difficult not to get involved. I mean, one of the things that you're going to have is, when Professor Downey was talking about the close interaction that students and faculty have, that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. Every student has a full-time faculty person as an advisor. And from day one, we will sit down with our students and talk about not just what classes to take, but how to get involved. And it sometimes it becomes a little bit of an arm twisting. I mean, we want you to get involved, and we're gonna do what we can. I can get a little bit aggressive if we need to make sure that students are realizing their potential. So it again is not the kind of place where you are going to become a number and you're gonna drift off and not be recognized. You're going to be recognized in the classroom and outside the classroom for sure. And I think this is hopefully where it begins for you guys. I think as I said, I think it's a great place.
So it looks like we have one question so far. So the student asked, how do faculty help students specifically in the business administration and economics department? How do they help students find out what they do want to study? Because, some students do come in undecided.
Yeah, that's a great question. We get a lot of students that certainly come in undecided, and as you know, from a philosophical point of view, we're right on with that. I mean, we absolutely agree with that idea. I think as a department, we get a little bit worried when somebody comes in too focused and too certain of what they want to do, because they may miss out some opportunities. And I think it's a couple of things. Find what they want to do. It's the small classroom environment. Our intro classes are typically 20 to maybe 30 students in them. Once you get into the upper level classes in our department, you're talking about 12 to maybe 20 students. So there's a lot of interaction with faculty, a lot of access to faculty. And also every student's going to have a full-time faculty person as their advisor. When they start deciding they want to get into the business department, even if they don't know what major they want, we always encourage students to seek out an advisor in the department. And they may have more than one advisor in the department. They may come in with me as an advisor if they're thinking about accounting, and then they may move over to JC if they develop an interest in health services leadership. So there's a lot of interaction that students have, a lot of access, and the clubs and other things too that we talked about are going to just open up a lot of opportunities and answer a lot of questions that students may have. Another thing that we didn't mention during this, in May term, we have a co-op 119, which allows students, this is usually done at the end of their first year, students can spend May term job shadowing. And if they're interested in law, we've had a lot of students do that before, where they job shadow corporate lawyers, practicing lawyers in firms, trial lawyers, judges, those sorts of things. Or if the student thinks they may want to go into accounting or study accounting, we've put students in job shadows in Mid-American Energy to see what a corporate accountant looks like in different departments, the tax department to the compliance to the reporting department. Had them job shadow in public accounting firms. So a ton of opportunity, again, to sort of explore what your interest areas might be.
Thank you. And then I think there's just one more question that came in. So are there any faculty members that specifically help students to find internships? And if so, who are those faculty members?
Well, I think that's our job as faculty is to help you discover those internships. I think we mentioned our connections to the business community. Those are ongoing relationships. When we're not in the classroom and we're not trying to advance your careers, we're out meeting our colleagues from the business world, from industry, and seeing what internships are out there. So we find we definitely help you on that journey of internships. We do consider that a cornerstone of what we do as faculty.
Yeah, and as specific faculty for that to help in that area, it really depends on what the areas you're looking for an internship. If it's health services, if you want to get involved in a management role in a healthcare organization, from the YMCA to a long-term care facility, JC is the absolute person to go to for sure. If it's looking at getting involved in an upstart company, John Walker is the person to go to. If it's accounting, we've got several accounting faculty. It would be one of us to come to. So we all really do have good connections. Tomorrow morning, I've got a board meeting with a group called the Financial Executives International, and the network of people that I know through that organization, I utilize all the time to help my students out finding jobs and internship opportunities.
I think that's all we got.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.